Good evening, guys. Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Look, we know why we're here, okay? There's no need for me to sugarcoat it or anything like that. We're going to be talking about Florida versus Utah. It's going to be spicy. It's going to be sour. It's going to be empathetic, all right? Let me kind of explain to you how this is going to go. I'm going to give my initial thoughts on everything kind of just quick off the rip. We had a call-in show last night, which was a great time. Then I'll give you my concerns, some things that, just are frustrating to me, as I'm sure they are to any fan that's here right now. What to look forward to? Sure, what to look forward to? Yes, there's things to look forward to. We all know I'm the Disney Gator. I'm the optimistic guy. I'm going to continue to be that guy, whether you like it or not. I'm going to be critical, as I think you should be, but I'm always going to focus on the positive things and the bright things, and we know what to expect. Utah fans talking shit. I love it, but I've got a bone to pick with one of them. Excuse me. So I'm going to do that. Then I have a closing statement. I feel responsible a little bit and the hype leading up. I know a lot of people put money down because of the hypeness that I encouraged throughout the last 2 weeks here. And I take full responsibility of it. Okay? And I wouldn't change a thing. I'm being honest with you. I'd do it all over again if I had to. But I think I carry a responsibility to everybody of, look, this is how it goes. This is what it's about. So we're going to talk about that, and we'll close it out with that. It's a little sympathetic. You might, call me, a little bitch about it. That's okay. I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about this team. It's been a fun road. It's been a rough day. You put a lot into this. You get excited about it. We want this team to be successful just as bad as the next person. But I've also learned to try to, it's still, you gotta keep it separate, from real life, but it's not easy to do that. And I understand that. Happy to have you guys here on this Friday afternoon. Make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. The family's been growing, right? Family's been growing. I wish tonight was a call-in show. I'd be calling a fight all these dudes. The call-in show was last night, Joe. You know what I'm saying? It was a good one. It was a good one, to say the least. Opening statement here for the game yesterday. So, look, man, momentum was a big thing that we talked about a lot last night, that when we had an opportunity to get the momentum in our direction, we dropped the ball. And I felt like we just kept giving Utah momentum, that was a big factor in the game. To me, the game was lost at the 3rd and 1, the false start to go 3rd and 7, the fumble into the out of bounds 4th and 2, and then the horrible play calling that was just that went from there. And then we missed the field goal to go down to still be down 3-7. We stopped them, and then we're sitting there with 2 threes on the football field, and then they get the ball back and they go and score. That to me was that was the game right there. I don't care what anybody says. We kick a field goal or a score for sure, but we kick a field goal, everything resets, we kick off, more than likely we stop them, right? We don't put 2 threes on the football field, and we're right back into the motion again. And I'm not making excuses, and I know what Utah fans are going to come here and say, look, they did what they were supposed to do. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm going to have my thoughts and opinions about it here in a minute, and that Utah fans are going to feel the way they feel about it. Doesn't matter to me. But that was to me, the rest of it kind of just, you're going to have mistakes. You're going to have holes. You can say this person sucked here, this person sucked there. You lost everything in that moment because you were there. You were right in the red zone. That offense was cruising down the football field. Everybody's excited. Everything is clicking, right? Even Mertz getting smacked and fumbling the football. That wasn't even that big of a deal. Buddy got slammed, right? That's part of football. So that was okay. Fumbled out of bounds, no big deal. Get a false start. You have to kick a field goal. Okay. A little bit of a setback. We make the field goal. We keep moving, right? So we had 2 setbacks that we could have still overcame. And then we have to turn the ball over. We stopped them. So it's like, okay, nothing goes wrong. We're about to get the ball back. And then we don't, and they go down and score. I mean, that literally, there's small things, and it added up, and it just demoralized. And for the fact that we were still to come out in the second half and they didn't score a single time after that speaks volumes. And again, hate all you want. Those are the facts. That is the fact. Utah didn't do anything spectacular, in my opinion, to really blow us away. They weren't just, lights out, laying it down all over us. I think their defense did play very well. I don't think that we didn't capitalize, right? We didn't maximize our offense a little bit, and I'll get into that shortly. But that's my initial thought. And last thing about my initial thoughts is Billy needs a little, bro. I know you watch the show, Okay? When I call you vanilla without the bean, that should just wake you up a little. That should piss you off. You know what I mean? I need a little fire. Not a lot. Just a little bit. Just a smudge. Your press conference, I need to see a little more emotion. I see it on your face, but I want to hear it. I want to hear from right here. You know? And maybe he keeps behind closed doors. Maybe behind the locker room, he moves the guys in a way that we would never believe. Do not know. But I need a little more. I need a little more. Okay? I need a little more. And yes, time management was another issue, which I've tried to defend him on, but he really burned the bridge yesterday for me, boys, on that, on the time management. Absolutely. So for my concerns, look, let's get into it. Let's break it down kind of little granular here. Again, I'm going to focus on the negatives, and then we're gonna pick everything back up. Okay, little 1-2 punch here. We're gonna build it back up. So obviously, again, the frustration was time management. I don't know if it was just because of the new time clock. I don't know, but that clock felt like it was not slowing down for anybody or anything. So that was very frustrating. We went into the half without using a single timeout. And there was plenty of times where the defense just looked a little lost, where we could have used a quick timeout, get set, right, on a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 2. Now, we had some great stops. They were 3 for 13 on 3rd down. So, I mean, improvement there, but it could have been better, honestly. It felt like, look, it was 3rd and 13 and an ugly 3rd and 13. They had one big drop pass. It was like 3rd and forever, and the guy was wide open. He just dropped it. That was a big mishap for them, a pass by Nate Johnson. But a couple times where, again, we could have called a timeout, got a quick reset, because they're rotating that defensive line out like very quickly, which I loved. I loved seeing it. I loved, them trying to stay ahead of them possibly being gassed from the altitude or may have you, or maybe they were just really, look, they've been talking about the depth, and that was one thing is like, look, there was a few holes for certain players that, hey, maybe you're probably going to lose your job over the next few weeks, but that's not, that's not our business. I think they'll figure that out when they go back and watch the tape. So look, that was a mishap. The having 2 threes on the football field, man, that's Bush League stuff. I feel like the refs had to pull out read the playbook saying, what is this? Because they've never even seen it before. We were getting shit called on us that the refs had to like retake the class because it was like they couldn't believe they were calling it, right? Just small mistakes, like they're easy to fix, but my concern is why is it happening now? Right? I mean, you talked about it all offseason that we're disciplined, we were focusing on the little things, and we were sold that things were looking really, really good. That's just small stuff that you just can't let happen. And it's always going to go back to Billy because he's the head coach. He takes he carries the entire weight. But I got to look at the coach Chris, the game coordinator, game-changing coordinator who was part of special teams. That's on you, man. Whoever's in the press box, you're not looking down checking that shit. I don't know. There's plenty of. I'm not trying to point the finger here, but that stuff to me fires me up. It's just. So I was actually talking to a buddy of mine today, and I'm a manager at work. And I do a lot of good things well. This is not me patting me on the back. This is me being completely honest with you guys. There's a lot of things that I do really, really well. But I mess up the dumbest shit. And what I mean by mess up the dumbest shit is I will miss an email or I'm a few minutes late to a meeting just because I forget about it. It slips my mind. That is easy Bush League shit. And I know that. I'm not proud of it, but that's my fault. That's my flaw. I have those issues. You shouldn't be having that as a head coach. And I shouldn't either, right? So I'm calling myself, I'm holding myself accountable and them accountable. It's the same exact thing. You can do a lot of good things great. But if you can't just get the basic shit right, like coming to a meeting on time, right? Or reading a freaking email and responding back in a timely manner, what are we doing here, right? You're eliminating all the good things that you do. And that's kind of what's happening is there was a lot of good things that we did, but it was just small, dumb shit. It's like, bro, what's happening here? You know what I mean? So look, coaching... The one good thing is coaching is it's something that can be fixed. It's a controllable part of the game, unlike, a player just not being talented enough. That's what was the other thing is talent-wise, we blew these guys out of the water. Just didn't maximize it enough, which again falls back on coaching. I would have loved to see Billy, and he said, coaching's got to get better, but I would have loved to see him ream himself. I think at that point you got to stand up and go, hey, I sucked. I was atrocious. I didn't have my coaches ready for this. The guys were doing what they were supposed to do. There was times where they made some errors for sure, but this falls on coaching, and I don't feel like he did that. And that was for me. I needed to see that, in my opinion. So those are my concerns. Let me catch my breath here. Welcome to the show, boys and girls. 106.7 in here. Make sure you guys again drop a like, show some love. look, we're going to get into some positive things now. So if you think they're going to continue to bash, I'm not going to do that. We got to keep moving week by week. I'm not saying that we're going to win the SEC championship, but Utah lost game 1 last year and won the Pac-12 championship. So we can't completely, and I know why we're as frustrated as we are. It's not the fact that we lost, it's how we lost. I know this. And that's what annoys me too, because watching the game, I was like, just make this a damn football game so I have a damn, a platform to stand on tomorrow. You know what I mean? And they just they did everything they could not to give me a platform. If they would have went down and scored, we're a touchdown away, they could get onside kick and we're driving. I'm like, okay, well, there was some life there at the end. They started getting the ball rolling, but they even plundered that away. So, look, it's one loss. It's not the entire season. Again, the frustration from everybody is how the loss happened and the dumb mistakes. That's what really makes this all ugly. That's what's really frustrating. So, take a breather here. All right, what to come? Why should we be excited? You guys see that there? See the stern Billy to the happy Billy? You know what I'm saying? Should we be excited? I think we should be. I think for the fact, you got to remember too, and I'm not making an excuse, I'm just pointing out the facts. I'm not here to get into a pissing contest with anybody. I'm just being honest here, being genuine. We got to move on. We got to start taking things, one step at a time. We completely flipped the team 180 from what it was last year. We can all agree on that. We've all agreed that we felt the team has improved, the talent-wise has improved from last year, but there's a lot of turnover that we've had to overcome. Also, mind you, from a team that ran the ball 1,000 times last year, we expected that. Shane Matthews told us it was going to be a slinging offense. Throwing the ball 44 times for a record for Graham Mertz for 333 yards shows that things have completely flipped into a different direction. Could it be because the offensive line isn't built like it was? Possibly. Could it be his confidence in Graham Mertz is way more than what it was in Anthony? Possibly. When he came out through that first play, I was fired up. I loved it. I love to see the excitement in that. So that is what I am excited about. Is Graham Mertz, I felt like, did what we were all expecting and hoping, and then some. Okay? I think his numbers were a little fabricated. I know everyone's fired up about him being thrown for 333 yards. Mind you, it's like fantasy football. A little bit of it was trash time, right? But still, looked good in the pocket. Even though he's running for his life, looked calm for the most part, hit some great passes in stride, had some, miscues as well too, but when you throw the ball 44 times, you're bound to. But a 70% completion rate against an elite Utah defense, that excites me, right? That excites me. I can't even read the comments right now because you guys are just roasting one another, which I hate to see that too. Like, I hate the civil war that grows amongst us with the fans here. Here's a Utah fan. You lost to a third string, a 0-star recruit who isn't on scholarship. We took him for a day off from Pig Farm to bully the Gators. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. I'm going to address the shit talking here in just a minute. And look, you got all the right to do it. So kudos to you. The defense, although there was some holes and there were some glaring issues at times, I think we can agree there was improvement. A lot of man-to-man, which shows Austin is trusting into his team. But I'm going to pull the data up here. I mean, take a look at this. This is what's frustrating, right? And I know what's going to happen when the Utah fans see this. You guys are pathetic. You can't even take a loss, respectively. Look, you beat us. I'm not here to beat around the bush. But Utah, this is the best team you've ever had. You're playing an unranked Florida Gator team, okay, mind you, with a completely 180 of a football team. That guy's been in it for 6 years. And I know I talk my shit, but how you guys are acting is like you went in there and you just dominated. This doesn't prove that you dominated at all. It proves that we just somehow, once again, when you go back and look at other games last year, just threw this. If you don't know the score of the game and you look at this, you got to think, well, I mean, this is probably a close one, right? And who edged it out? It's going to be close, right? But 346 to 270, not even close for total yards. Passing yards, 333 to 165, and you had two quarterbacks playing. Rushing yards, you dominated us. That was abysmal. Yards per play, got you there. First downs, got you there. Third down efficiency, almost a wash, but we'll give it to you. But fourth down efficiency, dominated. You didn't have any, so not really. Total plays, we controlled the ball. We had more plays. You punted more than we did. Penalties, though. Penalties crushed us, obviously, as you can see there. And then one turnover. And then time of possession is damn near of a wash. So, look, kudos to Utah. I don't think they went out there. And again, you had your third string and you did a lot of good things. You did exactly what I expected to have happen. I said this prior to the show. I wasn't concerned of who was going to be back there. The only time I thought Cam Rising would matter is if you guys were down late in the game and needed a drive. But you did exactly what I anticipated Utah to do. We fell into the trap. We beat ourselves. We made a mistake. And before you know it, we're stuck in this Whittingham fly trap, and we're down, and we're trying to play catch up with a team that just chews you up. You did what you did. I'm not mad. Look, I know you had eight starters out. I know you had all these things going against you. We had starters out too. Look, you guys do you. You're gonna have the Pac-12. It's gonna be a road. I don't think. I mean, Utah didn't give me Final Four vibes. That's all that I'm saying. That's all that I'm saying. $10 from my man Brendan here, baby. Wrong button there. Says that's it, people. If you don't have that, then just leave. Take your fair weather fan asses out of here. I love the energy. Yeah, man, we got it. I got my thing at the end here, but I'm gonna preach a little bit. But look, I think outside again, the errors. There's some things that we can improve on. I want to see some, obviously a lot of improvement. The one positive is we've got a lot of time until next Saturday against McNeese State. That's the one pro compared to last year. We had to go right into Kentucky. Okay, last year, second game of the week, second week of the season, we were 1-1. If we're 1-1 second week of the season, we're right where we were last year, right? We were 1-2 after week 3, and we may or may not be there again when we play against Tennessee at home. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Look, a lot of things to improve on, a lot of things to look forward to. I know you guys are getting rowdy here, but the last little bit again, I think there were some spotlights in the defense. They did look a little slow, which was concerning to me. Was it because their travel? Was it because I watched them at the Orange and Blue game, and those guys were all over the football field. I did not see it this game, and I don't know what it was, but I'm hoping that's something that's an easy fix too, right? Again, we could sit here for hours and talk about what we didn't like, this and that. Lot to fix. The fire Napier nonsense and all this and saying we need to bring Urban and Dan back is just complete nonsense, because my thing is here, like, bring Dan Mullen back. The guy that quit on us. We remember that. The guy that quit and the team that quit on him. That's who we want back. And Urban Meyer, who quit on us as well. Like, come on. Like, let's be real here. All right? Car Wash Channel says $2. You guys can still get a 11-1 record. I love that energy, baby. That's what I'm saying. It's there. I know you guys aren't going to believe that, but it's definitely there. At least if you guys are going to argue and yell at one another, you guys can at least drop a like and show some love. You know what I mean? There's a reason why the SEC doesn't travel out west. I mean, that's a brutal travel. That's a brutal travel for sure. Uncle Lou flipped y'all's helmet after watching the spring game. Yeah, I know he did. I talked to him about it. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. I didn't know all things went through Uncle Lou. Glad to know that. Look, Utah fans, I mean, you guys are earned your right to talk shit, but mind you, you've won the Pac-12 over the last 2 years. The Pac-12 no longer exists, so how much credibility does that really have? I don't know. And you've lost the last 4 times you went to the bowl game. So it's championship or bust for you guys. Congrats. You're week 1 champs. Love it. Happy to have you here. I feel better 24 hours removed. I think we all do, right? That's why I do these shows the next day once it's settled in a little bit. All right, let's move on. Utah finally wakes up. So I've got this, and then I have my closing statement, which is a little sentimental and a little emotional. So if you guys want to see me get all sappy, stay tuned. This, I got to be careful how I go about this. So this Utah fan base, Utah football fan podcast, we were supposed to have them on. They said they're going to come on, and they chose not to come on. More so, I think, because they felt they didn't want to come be associated with our show. However, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I saw them last night in the comment sections during the live show talking a little game. Granted, warranted. Look, guys, I love shit talk. I have been open. I have leaned into it. I signed up for this. I also think, though, and I call Steve out on this all the time, if you're going to walk your walk after the fact, you best believe you better be walking the walk before the fact. The Utah Wild Utes guys, they had me on their show. They can say whatever they want. They earned the right to talk shit. But if you're sitting in the back and you're playing Sweden and you're trying to play this passive bullshit that Steve does, I'm going to call you out when you get a little rambunctious. I don't mind you talking shit, but then you keep going. I'm like, I got to check. Come here. We got to talk. That's kind of where we're at with this, okay? Because what people don't know, and I'm getting a little spicy here, is last year after the game, I was talking my shit, as anybody would. This channel blocked me. They didn't want to handle it no more. They said, see you later, alligator. They blocked me. Whatever. I reached out to them and go, guys, let's figure this thing out. Let's do like a podcast. Let's do a tailgate. At the time, I thought about going to Utah. Well, let's squash this, right? No big deal. Then we talk, we chit chat, and they're supposed to come on, and then they bail last minute. Again, due to the fact kind of how we carry our channel. Yeah, they came in the comments and they talk shit, which is fine. I'm cool with it. But then I saw this video, and this is where I kind of was like, all right, I gotta address this. Like, it kind of put me over the edge, I guess you can say. Let me go ahead and play this for you. You can't hear it, can you? Hold on. Oh.
Certain Florida pundits.
Hold on.
Let me offer some free advice to certain Florida fans and certain Florida pundits. When you whine and make excuses, it makes you look like a fool. And when you demean the team that just beat you, well, what do you think it says about your team? Look, you just got punked by Utah in the same fashion they punk a lot of teams. Now, I understand it's little old Utah with lesser talent than your big SEC team. Look, I know it's impossible, or you won't do it, whatever the reason, you just can't say Utah's a better team than you. It would make you feel better if you would, but let me just say for you that Utah is better than you. Go Utes.
All right, cheese ball, first of all. Look, he's talking his game. He's feeling frisky, and I don't disagree with his pizzazz. I feel like, first of all, it's like UFC, right? Because UFC, they always have, you can kind of create like a trilogy. We won the first one, they won the second one. It's unfortunately we don't get to say, hey, let's have a rematch, right? Let's complete the trilogy. Let's meet in a neutral ground and let's rock and roll here, to settle the debate. But the point of it is, again, like you won the second round and you act like you just won the damn Super Bowl. And I get it. You're fired up. You're all spazzed up. You're all jazzed up. And what I was also referencing is, like, you act like you guys destroyed us. And you won. You did what you were supposed to do. I'm not making any excuses. You kicked our ass. We got out-coached. All of those great things. Did you play the game better, though, than Florida? I don't know, because if we really break this down, and again, we're getting granular here, and this is what we do on this show. That first play of the game, it's a fluke. Great play call. Loved it. Winningham says, for the last 7 years, we came out, we've been conservative. I said, let's let it rip. Love the play call. Phenomenal. That either that gets stopped or doesn't go anywhere. They may not even go down a score. So there's 7 points there, and then obviously the big momentum turner, which I talked about, the two jerseys on the field. There's 7 points there. There's 14 points you may or may not get off of two fluke plays. And I'm not trying to take away the 14 points, but I'm saying it wasn't like you went out there and you just marched down the football field and kicked our ass. We just were that bad, unfortunately. We really, really were. And if you believe that playing that style of football for the next 12 games is going to get you into the Final Four, into a championship, you're out of your damn mind. So as far as I'm concerned, it's championship or bust, especially for you guys claiming that it's the best team you've ever had. That's all that I'm saying. And again, what frustrates me the most is because I asked them to be on the show. They played like we don't know, it's so shit, blah, 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 blah. And then they want to start running their mouth. I don't like that. That's where I get frustrated. All the other Utah fans, I've enjoyed it. Let them have it. You earned it. I genuinely do not care. It's been great. But felt like they were a little over the top there. Utah's on a top 15. And again, it's not Florida being bitter about it. You beat us. I don't know how else to say it. If I can sit here and say, hey, we sucked here, here, and here, I think you as a Utah fan should say, hey, we sucked here, here, and here. That's just a fact. Even last year when Florida beat Utah, I was fired up, but there was I was like, hey, there's some things we need to work on. We have to focus on. We've got to get better at, etc. And I think that's the point of it. You felt, if you watching that game, and I know what you're going to say. Well, we had 8 starters out. Cam Rising wasn't playing, blah, 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 blah. And those things are all true. I just, I don't know. It was just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. That's all. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm blocked after this, to be honest with you. But for the most part, it's been great for the Utah fans. I've enjoyed it. They've been great. I think we all can agree it's been a fun little battle. I wish there was one more. I feel like we need a tiebreaker. Give me a neutral site, though. Let's cut the bullshit out with humidity. Let's cut the bullshit out with altitude, right? Because I feel like that's a thing, and it shouldn't be. Put us in a damn Superdome in the middle of the country, right? Same travel times, and let's hash it out. Put me in charge. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some juice going. All right, boys. So I see a lot of people in here getting a little rowdy. All right, and I got to leave us with this. 250 people in the chat. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Wish we could get some more likes, but you guys don't let me, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna leave you with this little sappy, little sentimental thing before we go, and then I've got a fantasy football draft for some of our members who joined and decided to play with us. But we're gonna cue the music. We're gonna get sappy, and we're gonna have a good time here. Okay. I'll leave you with this. Being a fan of any sports team has its ups and its downs, and it seems lately it's been nothing but down. I know fans are pissed, irate, disappointed, and downright disgusted, as they should be. One of my favorite shows is Game of Thrones, and a constant theme throughout the show is your word. When you shake a man's hand and you tell him, I'm going to do something, you stick to it, regardless of who the man is on the other side. No matter how evil or all the bad things that they have done, if you shake their hand, telling them you're going to do something, you stick to your word. You're loyal to it, because loyalty is all you have in that time. There's an iconic scene called the Red Wedding, where Snow's son made a promise to one of the evil guys to marry his daughter because he needed something at that time. Well, Snow was out and about and found himself a new honey and chose to go back on that promise and broke that promise. He had an ego, felt that he could do it because he was Snow. The guy, old man, felt like it was no big deal, right? We're going to let it slide here. Sorry. And invited him over. While they were there, he decided to massacre the entire family because Snow broke his word. And most people were upset about that because the word was broken, right? Or because the main character was murdered. But I enjoyed it. I loved it because he broke his word. You got to keep your word, okay? And the reason I tell you that is to tell you this. At some point in our lives, we threw on the orange and blue. We chose to be a Florida Gator football fan. We gave them the orange and blue, our word. And our word is everything. When we have nothing, when it's at its lowest point, the one thing that we do have is our word. Okay? And no matter how much turbulence we may endure, okay, we have to continue to have our word. So the fans quitting on this team in this dark hour, just understand what that means. This too shall pass. 12-0 or 0-12, orange and blue till I die. Go Gators, and God bless.